How's it going? All right, mic works. That's great. My name is Shane Dutka, and I like Sandstorm, Darude. Hopefully some of you know that song. It's a good song. I like it. First off, affiliate. That's what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to talk about a playbook that generated over $200 million in revenue in 2024 and over 7.5 million leads, specifically in the home services niche, through the affiliate channel. And he mentioned it too, this is the first time I'm ever talking about this type of stuff publicly. Affiliates are pretty cagey when it comes to tactics and like what's working, what's not working. So this type of stuff doesn't really get shared, and I'm sharing it with y'all publicly. Some of the stuff that's on the slides, I'm actually not even, I didn't put everything on the slides because I'm going to share the slides, and I'm actually going to share some stuff live with y'all right now. So again, keep this all between us, and yeah, let's get started. So my background and why I'm qualified to talk affiliate, we're going to start there. What I did to help 3Ships and their affiliate business to go from 10 million ARR to 200 million, so a lot of growth. The SEO and SEM playbook to be an irreplaceable affiliate partner. So if you want to be an affiliate or you are a brand and you want to recruit affiliates, you're going to get a lot of value out of that. And how to stay ahead of the curve in an ever-changing SEO environment, obviously, LLMs, AI, a lot of things changing right now. So let's get into it. Let me see a show of hands. How many people have affiliate sites or have done affiliate before? Okay, it's like 20, 30%. How many people have worked with affiliates to grow their brand? So you weren't an affiliate, but you recruited affiliates. Anybody done that before? Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's great. And some of you are like, I don't know affiliate, tell me more. So we're gonna talk about that. Affiliate, in my opinion, is the best business model that exists on this planet, mainly because of operations and how easy it is to get started. But the trick really comes down to distribution and actually getting to grow a brand and actually getting traffic, right, to monetize. So some of the brands that I've worked with, you may recognize these logos, maybe you don't, but these are some of the biggest brands on earth, and I have sold them leads. So I've worked with their affiliate partner, their affiliate managers, and I have convince them to buy our traffic and our leads. And some of them have purchased upwards of, I don't know, 100K, 500K a month of leads from us, ranging from solar to pest control. We got windows, and then I think Sun runs solar panels. So home services lead gen. My org structure when I was running affiliate was roughly this size. So about 30 plus, 4 SEO directors in my org, 7 SEO managers, 7 editors, tons of content folks, tons of freelancers. I have managed a massive affiliate operation every single month. And Home Solutions is the brand that I was VP of SEO for. And you can see here my lovely face. I hate this image, by the way. It's a terrible image. The photographer, I was like, hey, dude, we got to redo the image. He never got around to it to this day. So, and then, I was doing affiliate on the largest scale. Today I run SiteCurve, which is a brand new SaaS. It's a competitive intelligence platform to help people figure out who's winning and losing in SEO. It launched on Monday. Talk about that later. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for me because I didn't start in affiliate. I actually started as an accountant. So in 2013, I was at that desk, and there's actually 2 staplers in that photo. I don't know if you can see, because of how many things I had to staple every day because I'm an accountant. 2 monitors and lots of garbage and stuff. But to make matters even worse, I was an accountant at the government. So it was very boring. I'm at the Pentagon, so I am US. The Pentagon is what that is. It's the military building. It's not as cool as it sounds, I'll be honest. It looks like, my desk was in that building. So just to give you an idea, not the most fun. So I decided to change my life and get into bow ties. And I decided, hey, I don't want to be an accountant anymore. I think bow ties is my future. That'll be my exit of the accounting life. So I went to China and Italy, and I bought about $50,000 worth of bow ties. That was my first package, and it was on my desk, and yeah, that was a really interesting day. I launched a bow tie website, and I was like, I'm gonna get out of this accounting life. I'm gonna start a bow tie business. And I tried a lot of things. I tried YouTube, some of these very weird videos, if you can see, bow ties and suspenders, 5 reasons you should wear a bow tie. I don't know if anybody wears bow ties in here, but I can help you tie one if you want. I did an Instagram account. It was a meme account. Basically tried a bunch of things, didn't really work. Even did a podcast, Real Guys with Bow Ties. That was my buddy John. He did me a solid on that one. He's like, sure, I'll do whatever you want, just like buy me a beer or something. So he did that. He was a really great sport. But the only thing that worked was SEO. SEO was the only thing that worked, and this was a big sort of revelation for me, and I was starting to work. And the orange line here, you can see from Ahrefs, was like, oh dang, it's working. I'm actually getting sales, I'm getting traffic. But we're not here to talk about e-com, and we're not here to talk about bow ties. We're here to talk about affiliate. So that brings me to my pest pivot, as I like to say. Basically, I got into pest control, and I get a lot of people asking me, why pest control? Well, bow ties, I don't know how many people wear a bow tie. Probably not that many. So I was good at SEO, but I couldn't actually get that many eyeballs to my site to buy bow ties. So naturally, I need to get out of that market. That's why I turned to pest control. Huge market. People hate bugs. I hate bugs. Anytime I see one, I want to kill it. And I'll call an exterminator if it's big enough. Multiple monetization paths. You can monetize with ads, lead gen, and product affiliate. We're going to talk about all those things today. More on ads. Mediavine is a display ad platform that you can just, you basically apply to them and they look at your site, and if they like it, they'll let you put ads on your site and you can make money. $30 to $40 RPM. RPM, if you're not familiar, revenue per 1,000. So for 1,000 eyeballs coming to my site, I'll make $40. Also lead gen, $15 to $30 per lead. So if people come to my site, I would put like a zip capture form, kind of like the one they have there, on my pest control site. And if somebody filled it out, I'd make about $15, $30. If it's bed bugs, $30. If it's like ants, 15. There's a whole marketplace for that. And then a product affiliate. Some people are probably familiar with Amazon. They have an affiliate program called Amazon Associates. 8% if I can refer customers to Amazon. It was really great. So I took what worked for bow ties and I went to pest control. And this is where we get into the SEO side of things. I did a lot of first-person content. I wrote all of the articles on the pest control site myself. So I'm very good at pest control, better than most. And I built all niche-specific backlinks. I was very intentional about this. Reached out to my local pest control companies, and I was like, hey, I wrote this article about bed bugs. Would you link to it as an additional resource? I was very intentional about getting very niche-specific backlinks to grow my site. Not only that, but I had downloadables. I didn't want to just be a transactional affiliate site. I wanted to actually have resources. So I created a pest control, 39-point pest control checklist. Again, did it myself. That site right there is WordPress, if you're wondering. I'm a big WordPress advocate. I think it's the best. And Google rewarded me for it. It built up to a DR53 site personally, built roughly 600 or so backlinks. Those are best backlinks, just like DR30, traffic over 1,000. And you can see, it's a little hard to see probably, but I think we peaked at around 500K a month in traffic from Google to that site. And then that translates into a bunch of affiliate revenue from products. And I ultimately sold that site for over $1 million. That was my first big win. Affiliate is a great business model. People love buying affiliate sites. They still do, even though there's less of them because they got crushed by HCU. We'll talk about a few, by the way, that are still around later. These are some of my other sites, Pro Paint Corner, learningjewelry.com, because I had a playbook, right? I had a playbook that was working, so why not spin more up, right? Makes sense. So I did diamonds and I did painting. A little bit on diamonds. I liked diamonds because things are really expensive. Diamond rings are like $5,000 a pop. And basically I looked at some of the SERPs and where to buy X, best place to buy X online, diamond X versus Y. These keywords, they were underserved. The brands who were ranking on them were ranking for terms like best diamond ring, which was obvious. I noticed that there was a lack of competition for best place to buy a diamond ring online. So I played the game where you're focused more on matching intent better, and that won me a lot of traffic. So I did the same thing. First person expertise, wrote all of my articles. I actually renamed myself. I was Shane Herringbone. I was very, very sophisticated. And then I built a bunch of links on sites like Primer, which are, they do basically like proposal articles. So it made a lot of sense and ultimately built a lot of links. And you can see there's like a brand going on here, right? I was very intentional about that with the pest control site, with the diamond site. I did my own thumbnails. That's a thumbnail from Canva. Love Canva. We just talked about brand. This was something I was doing back in like 2019, 2020. So I was a little bit ahead of my time, I guess you could say. Site architecture, also really important. And again, I'm telling you all this because it like feeds into the 3 ships play. So just kind of setting the stage here. But again, very intentional about site architecture. All of these things still work today. And again, Google rewarded me for that as well. But this time was a little different. I didn't monetize through Amazon. Everyone else was doing that. I thought that was a waste of time because who's going to buy a diamond ring on Amazon? And they don't really sell expensive ones, so it didn't make sense. So instead I went direct. I went right to the people that were actually selling the rings. James Allen, Clean Origin, White Flash, Blue Nile. Maybe you've heard of these brands. They sell rings. James Allen was the one that ultimately I had the most success with, and I'll tell you why. Basically, it comes down to conversion rate. So the big thing about Amazon and why affiliates love Amazon is because it converts. There's a lot of people with affiliate programs. Some of the people with affiliate, if you're a brand, you have an affiliate program. If you're an affiliate, you're joining affiliate programs. As an affiliate, you care a lot if it converts. And James Allen had a very, very well converting website. I would equate it to say it was basically the Amazon of diamonds, effectively. They had like a lot of different widgets that were very much specifically built to convert customers on their site. So that worked out really well. I sold direct to James Allen, didn't go through Amazon. And every sale I made through James Allen, I got 5 to 8% of the take, which if you sell a $10,000 ring, it adds up quickly, as you can see. Sold that site in 2021 for roughly $500,000. That was a big win. Again, everybody loves affiliate sites because they're hands-off. They're content sites, the traffic keeps coming, and they're easy to sell. Again, this was 2021 before HCU, so the market shifted a little bit, but people still like to buy them. So again, why am I telling you all of this? Well, again, it's because I brought this same exact playbook that I did for myself at a smaller scale, and we went bigger. We went to 3 ships. 3 ships, if you probably don't know this brand, and I'll explain why they matter, what do they do, but this is just some screenshots from their homepage. 3 ships and what they do. First off, they have 2, I would say, flagship brands, subdivisions of their brand. The one I worked at was Home Solutions. They have another one called Pillar 4. Pillar 4 mainly focuses on mattress and fitness and health. Home Solutions mainly focuses on home services, hence the name, Home Solutions. And effectively, these are giant affiliate conglomerates. So they just work with big brands, and they just do exactly what I did, but at a much larger scale. How do they do that? They do it with a mix of owned and operated and media partnerships. Some of their sites, and these are pretty easy to uncover, so I'm not like sharing anything super privy here, but Garage Gym Reviews and Barbend are 2 of the sites from Pillar 4. From Home Solutions, these are 2 sites I used to manage. Today's Homeowner and EcoWatch, both of these sites are from Home Solutions. Media partnerships. So this is a big one. Media partnerships are a big part of the playbook, mainly because of, you probably have seen it, site reputation abuse. 3 ships was definitely part of that game, and we just saw how easy it was to rank. You can call this, I would say, sophisticated power site SEO, because it wasn't like Outlook India, maybe you're familiar with that brand, because we had legit deals on the table, multi-million-dollar deals to get access to these sites and basically build entire hubs of content in them, effectively a lease. Talked about that a little bit. So I joined in 2020 as one of their first SEO directors. So up to this point, just to kind of reset in terms of timeline, at this point, I'm not an accountant anymore. I've changed my career. I'm an SEO full-time. I'm doing affiliate for myself. I have a bunch of sites doing quite well, and I see that they're looking for an SEO director in the home space. That's my background. Makes sense for me to join. So the first thing they had me do was basically said, hey, we're generating $10 million of revenue from this experience, basically a panel. If you go to Google and you Google best home warranty and you click, you see any of the ads, they're gonna look a lot like that. We might be there, we might not be there, but somebody is, and they probably have an experience that looks like that. It's very common in SEM, which is paid search, basically. And they were doing about 10 million from that. They asked me to run their niche site. They were like, hey, Shane, you got all this experience with pest control and diamond thing. Here's a site that we just bought. Do the same thing, And that was my job, to grow that site. And I did. I did the exact same thing with the same exact playbook. And again, you might have already forgotten, but what is my playbook? It's just more specific content, more hyper-focused around different articles, around search intent, and different link building tactics. I'll get into more on that in a second. But a key thing here, the traffic numbers are small. And that's really important to call out here because the deal sizes we had were very large. For one lead that comes through Review Home Warranties, even today, probably like, that site isn't around anymore, we merged it into a different site, but the home warranty niche, you can expect roughly an $80 to $100 RPL, revenue per lead. So if we send a brand, American Home Shield, Choice, leads, they'll pay us that number. So you don't need a lot of traffic to make it work and see big money. So what did I do? Again, targeted long tail queries with focused high intent queries. So best home warranties for septic systems. Everybody, when I saw when I came into the space, everybody was targeting the head term, best home warranties. Everybody was doing it. They're all competing on that same term. I was like, I ain't gonna compete with them. First of all, this site was a DR30 when I picked it up. There was no chance in the world that it was gonna compete on that, so I had to go long tail. And what I did was I beat everybody on intent. This is a common SEO strategy, worked really well for this site and crushed. The screenshot's a little messed up because it's from archive.org, but I ran my thumbnail play. I have bullets in the intro, very intentional, just to hook the user, and then I have a carousel at the bottom there for conversion rate optimization. Did that very intentionally, and it boosted our conversion rate, I don't know, like 30% or something when we did it. Leveraged Harrow. This is a big, easy thing at the time. If you don't remember, help a reporter out. We just ran that play, had an agency run it for that site, and I am all over this backlink profile. Shane Dutka, founder of and general manager of Review Home Warranties. My name has been abused and abused in the Harrow space, so I'm a little afraid of what it's attached to at this point because of that platform. But we did that. What else did we do? We bought links. We definitely did that. $3,000 per link was the average price that we paid. But we were I was the one managing this personally. Any link we bought, I personally reviewed. Some of the example sites that we bought, do.com, NASDAQ, Forbes. And what did we do? The reason we paid this price is because we directed them directly to our most highest value page, best home warranty. Not for septic systems, we did it for a better page, but you get the point. Some things really quick on link farms. This is a big thing I came across a lot dealing with at the scale that we were at 3 Ships. People were trying to take advantage of us because we have big budgets. They're like, oh, these guys are a whale. We're gonna fleece them dry. And they tried, but I basically said no for like pretty much 95% of the links that people pitched me on. One of these was soup.io. I love using these guys as an example because it's a perfect example of a link farm. This was the site in 2019, completely different purpose. This is the site in 2020, repurchased, rebranded as this like junk looking site, but people who don't have an eye for it will get fooled. And if you pull up their backlink profile or their Ahrefs account, whatever, you can see a giant drop off. That's when they went expired. They got picked back up. And you can see right now, if you check their linked out domains, casinos, till the cows come home because it was clearly being farmed out. This was the actual spreadsheet that I was given by this link agency. And I looked straight at him and I was like, are you seriously trying to sell me soup.io and Zdo? These are the exact copies of these. These are 2 sites that look exactly the same. Clearly both link farms. And he's like, yeah, man, these are great links. $3,000, please. I'm like, no way, they're absolute garbage. But of course, I went for the ones that were actually good. I truthfully think the salespeople don't even know, they don't know better. They're just told, hey, here's something to sell, go sell it. Somebody who does know better, the SEO who's like running the ship behind them, is like, here are your links, go sell these, and you make your money. So I actually, I didn't blame him. He was probably just not really in the know. EcoWatch was another site I worked on. This is what it looked like before I picked it up. It looked like a crappy blog. When I started, when site reputation abuse hit it a couple months ago. It's coming back now, but yeah, a little bit of a downturn there. Honestly, I think, personally, I don't agree with this one because it is a solar site, it's an eco site, so I don't agree with that one. But selling leads to big brands. We sold leads to SunPower, Sunrun, ADT Solar on this site. Before I got it, they tried to make best CBD gummies work. I don't know what it is about the CBD niche, but people love to push the CBD gummies real hard. And they make a lot of money, I'll be honest. I think when I was talking to the guy who was running it, he's like, yeah, dude, we're making $50K a month, it's great, we're crushing it. I'm like, okay, looking at my clock, I'm like, oh, let me know in a month how you're doing. And because it's such a fly by the night type of thing. So I knew he'd be gone in a month. And of course he did. And then they pivoted to solar because it made more sense. The site was an eco site. We knew it would take effect in the SERPs. So they pivoted to solar, but they really didn't make it work. They couldn't convert the traffic. I don't know if you can tell why. It's obviously not optimized to convert anything. It looks like a blog post. We turned it into that. So we pretty much redid the entire template from scratch, made it look like a legit site, had the Why Can You Trust EcoWatch badge there, reviewed by Andrew Dunn, some highlights. It did really well. It converted like 10x from what it was, just with that template. We also built a giant calculator to attract links that did really well. We used it as a link magnet. We also did I think somebody was talking about the statistics play. We did that till the cows come home. Statistics articles are great. They're definitely like an evergreen link building asset. We ran that play. In this case, top 25 solar energy statistics for 2024 was a great article we did in that vein. We also did programmatic SEO. So programmatic SEO, big play. We love that. We had an entire engineering team spun up just to do this. This was the play on EcoWatch. And it was data driven, so there's a lot of data points in these pages. These pages are still up today, so if you want to check them out, you can do that. But all of these things here are data driven. We had like 5,000 or 10,000 pages, one targeting best solar companies plus city, the other one targeting solar panel cost plus city. I think collectively these did like 50K a month, maybe 100K a month, just these two templates. Of course, there's like 10,000 pages, again, don't forget. And again, I had a big team, so it wasn't just me. I had a whole team that was helping execute all this. I had link builders, conversion rate optimization people. I had SEO managers, directors. Because of my ability to do what I did, I was promoted, so just kind of circling back on that. But some questions that I get anytime I kind of tell this story to people I meet is, how are you able to generate so much freaking revenue? Like, how did you do that? Like $80 a lead, how do you even start there? How do you get these brands to work with you? Like, why does Terminex pick up the phone? Why does Orkin even like say hello to you? Because like these are like mega brands. And how do these brands actually buy the leads? Because operationally, how do they actually get the leads, and like how does the whole process work? What are the deal structures? What about paid? And are there any examples out there still doing this? We're gonna talk about that. So how are we able to generate that kind of revenue? 3 different sort of pillars that I try to like create a mental model around. The first is the SEO, SEM flywheel, a concept I like to call lead tranching. I don't hear anybody talking about this. We're gonna talk about that. Lead distribution strategy. So we'll do all 3. First, the flywheel. So the flywheel is made up of 4 parts. Any good business has a flywheel, most likely. In this case, we have our own. It all starts with paid. So if you want to get in the game the way we did, you got to have a paid motion. You can't, because the main issue here is volume. Brands need volume, and paid can kick things off on the volume front and make sure that you can actually give brands 1,000 leads a month. And we would start with experiences that look like this. Again, the panels experience, very, very common. It's literally the playbook is the panel. It doesn't work in every niche, but most niches do support a panel if there's enough brands. We also do like a zip capture experience. It's not a great screenshot, but I'll show you one in a bit on that. Then once we have paid running their thing, we pitch national brands to buy our leads. That's the deal. That's the pitch motion, right? You're gonna have a sales team. You're gonna have to, hey, we have leads. You need leads. You're a business. You want to grow your business. You need customers. Buy our leads. Pretty simple. The thing about the home services space is there was already pain in the market. There's already people buying from HomeAdvisor, which is a big, big aggregator. They have a lot of deals with a lot of small players. These are American brands, if you're not familiar. But basically, they're a conglomerate that they have deals with all of the small mom and pops. So if somebody wants, so if a homeowner comes to them, then they'll sell the lead to one of the mom and pops or a big brand, depends. So there's already pain in the market. So anytime we approach the brand, we basically just pull up HomeAdvisor and be like, you hate HomeAdvisor, we're a HomeAdvisor alternative, just try us out. That was basically the bread and butter pitch over and over again. We invest in SEO. So this is where SEO comes into play. SEO is a gigantic lever on the lead quality side. Paid is not a lead quality lever. It is a volume lever. SEO is the quality lever. It is also the profit margin lever because as we identify valuable keywords in paid, we would take that data and then move it to our SEO team and be like, hey, rank on this keyword, build links to this keyword, and then we would basically gain share on that keyword we know is super valuable and we know drives quality leads for our partners. Again, these brands, so basically the SEO motion, because we're ranking, we can then go to these brands, not only with the pain in the market about HomeAdvisor, because they don't want to work with HomeAdvisor. They hate HomeAdvisor. They're a pain to work with. Their leads are crap. So we'll go to them with that, be like, hey, you hate HomeAdvisor. And by the way, we're already ranking #1 for best pest control. Hey, Orkin, you should work with us, because they can see that. It's very obvious. They just take screenshots, drop it in the deck, and it's such an obvious thing that they want that volume. And they can't get it because we have the domains and we rank. So they would work with us. And again, we invest in SEO to improve lead quality and expand profit margins. That's the owned and operated side, and then the media partner side. Owned and operated is preferable because you have total control over the domain. If we did a media partnership with like a USA Today, we don't have total control over the domain, so it's a little more restrictive, harder to work with them. They have their own teams that we have to deal with, so operationally more complex, but that's what we did. The other thing, brands give us feedback on lead quality. This is really important. If you ever want to do anything like this on the affiliate side, you have to have a feedback loop that basically the brands can say, these leads were good, these leads were not good. And that gives us, the paid team, enough intel to adjust their bidding, and also the SEO side to adjust our targeting. So that closes the loop, and then paid restarts, and then that's the flywheel. Feedback from the brands flow into our SEO and video and bidding strategy, and then keyword strategy from the SEO side. And then let's talk about lead tranching. So sorry, I keep doing the mic thing, so I apologize. Lead tranching, what is that? How does that work? So here's a great little iceberg picture. I thought that fit the mental model here. Basically, when we sell leads to brands, we sell from a lot of channels. The ones they see is the branded and non-brand. So we might rank on their brand terms. For example, Terminex review or Terminex return policy. Like those are brand terms. Non-brand is best pest control. So they'll see that because they want to rank on those too. But what they won't see is email, Facebook ads, search. So we don't share that. We don't want them to see that. And they also vary in lead quality. To the brand, they see one lead source in their CRM. It looks like that. Sorry. It's just a giant lead. It just says 3Ships leads or Home Solutions leads, whatever it is. And then to us, this is very, very top secret because if they knew where we were getting our leads from, they might carve us out. They might disintermediate us to basically get some margin back. Even if they can see some of our search ads, but Facebook, email, all of that's super hard for them to sort of reverse engineer. So that's really important. Our posture was you buy all of it or you buy none of it, and that always worked because they like our leads. Because our volume was becoming so material to their business, they really had no other option but to work with us. So they had to deal with this. And of course, they want to know the lead source. And if you're small, you have no leverage, you would probably have to give up that data point. But we were big enough to say no. And also, target cost per sale. So you might be wondering, target cost per sale, like what's the cost to acquire a customer for the brand? Well, every time we talk to a brand, they would tell us, hey, we need to, from your leads, if you sell us 10 leads at $100 a lead, that costs us $1,000. We need to convert at least one person. That's a cost per sale of $1,000, simple math. If we sell them 20 leads at $100, $10, $100, and it's like $2,000, they're gonna be like, no, this isn't working for us. Figure out your lead gen, it's not working, we're gonna not work with you. So cost per sale was basically the metric we always were revolving around. So if we're too aggressive, sending too many low quality leads, we risk being turned off. So SEOs are, I told you before, SEOs are really big quality levers. So every time we were selling to brands, we would basically mix in the high quality with the low quality. So it's kind of like how the sausage is made, right? You want to maximize the value of the deal because you want to, if we just sold them SEO, it would be well under their target. So we would be leaving a lot of money on the table. They'd love us. They'd be like, you guys are the best. Send us more leads. But we wouldn't have any more to send because SEO is limited. So we have to push in the medium quality, which is Facebook, SEM in different tranches. And when I say high quality, medium, and low, as a search ads, you can bid on really high quality terms like best pest control. Like those are really high quality intent terms, but they cost so much money. So you can't bid on those terms. So you have to bid on lower quality terms like how to get rid of bed bugs. They're cheaper, but the leads don't convert as much, so that costs more on the customer side. So anyway, we try to land somewhere around, somewhere in the middle and hit the sweet spot so that we don't go way under and leave money on the table. We don't go way over and piss off the customer. So you got to be right in the middle. So this is like big leagues affiliate right here, and how we basically manage the business. Little graphic here. You don't want to be too cheap. You don't want to be too expensive. You want to be right in the middle. Quick note on SEO profit. If bear with me, mental model. SEO, I would say, last time I remember, was like 80% profit on, if we made $1, 80 cents would be profit. On the SEM side, 10 cents. So our ROAS was like 1.1, but every SEO dollar that came in was super profitable, so we invested a ton in it. And as long as we hit the CPS for the target for the customer, they're gonna keep buying, they're gonna keep coming back, we're gonna have a business. Quick one on lead distribution strategy. Optimized funnel entry points, real-time auction ping post system, variable price leads, and then many partners to leverage against each other. This is like bringing it home right here. So it all starts with how the lead gets in the system. So usually you'll see like a zip capture experience. They'll go through a funnel, they'll put their zip in, they'll say what bug they want, and then they'll fill out their email. The key thing to take away from this is if a lead comes through the pipe, we want to make sure that if they like Google how to get rid of termites, we want it to say, here's how to, the organic SEO page would be like, how to get rid of termites, da 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 da. The funnel will be like, hey, you have a termite problem. What's your zip code? What's your email? What color termite is it? Whatever it is. But all the steps say termites. That increases conversion rate. This is really important. Every single time we did it, we would run that play. Lead auctioning. So this is how we actually send leads to partners. Bobberdo is a ping post system, and all that means is when we ping, basically if we onboard a Terminex or an Orkin, we'll integrate with their CRM, we'll ping them and say, hey, we have a lead from this geo. Do you want to buy it? And they will say yes or no. And if they say yes, we'll post it to their CRM. That's a ping post system. That's what the big leagues affiliates do. This is EcoWatch, same thing. Again, if you go into that zip, you'll find yourself in that funnel, and then it all works the same way. You put your zip in, we're going to send that to Bobberdo, and it's going to post to Sunrun and SunPower, and they're going to say, yes, we want it, or no, we don't. And, but that's only half of it. There's more to it than that. There's also the concept of variable price leads, exclusive leads versus shared leads. So if you're trying to maximize the dollar that you're sending, you want to potentially sell to more partners. So if you get leads from some guy or somebody's filled out a form, you might sell that customer's information to 10 different partners. That, of course, will reduce the conversion rate of converting that customer into an actual sale for Orkin or whatever, but they understand that, so we price it lower. That's all it is. They understand there's a lower price for shared leads, but they might say, oh, our salespeople are so good, we don't care if it's shared, we'll do it anyway, because we'll beat out these other people and we'll get cheaper leads. So yeah, variable pricing, make sure we maximize the deal. And then the last thing I want to talk about is leverage. So when we started out, we didn't have any leverage. We had no other brands. We just had one brand. It was Angie. We actually sold to Angie because it was easy because they're an aggregator. But then we added Terminex. Then we added Orkin. And every time you add a brand, you get more leverage. You get the ability to say no when they tell you to do things. And then they start bidding against each other. And then this is when the flywheel starts to spin. And ultimately, you make the most money. And that resulted in us going from $25 a lead to $100 a lead from brands. You can't start at $100 a lead, but that's where you begin at 25 and you work your way up as you add partners. How are we able to get big brands to work with us? I told you before, well, I didn't tell you this, mystery shopping. So what we would do is actually just fill out the forms and just see who responded. So we would go in, type in the zip code, and just pick up the phone and be like, who's calling me? And if it was Orkin, we'd know Orkin buys in a zip code, and we would pitch them, or whoever brand. We would find a lot of mid-markets this way, but it worked out really great. We'd also have all the rankings. So sometimes brands would come to us and be like, hey, we want to be there. Let us be on your panel. And then we would have volume. It's all about volume to work with big brands. They need volume. If you can't play the game with volume, you're not going to play. You're going to play it all. And the last thing is hanging around the hoop. You have to be around. You have to be so basically when you go to pitch brands, they might not be ready to buy from you. They may be like, we don't have any budget. But they know you're legit. And they're like, okay, like Tom from 3 Ships, whatever, he seems legit. But hanging around the hoop concept is you just pick up the phone every 3 months, be like, hey, how are those leads converting? We got more over here and they're converting really good and their prices are going up, so you should work with us. And eventually that actually pays dividends. It's just sales 101. So you just have to be sort of checking in with those brands. Here's the recap. Pick a category, get off-shelf deals, get the traffic, commit to losing money for 3 to 6 months. Again, it's day 0. You don't make money day 0. You have to commit to losing money for 3 to 6 months. Build up your ad accounts, get volume, start doing deals with brands. And who else is doing this? So let's close it out with that. So if you're like, man, that's really cool. Who else is doing it? Let me get some more examples. Red Ventures, Lending Tree, Natural Intelligence, Black, White, and Zebra are all 4 really good brands to go check out. They're pretty easy to reverse engineer where their domains are that they're doing this with. The one I want to highlight is Natural Intelligence. If you just Google best medical alert system and go to the ads, it's all of them basically. Let me go back really quick. Yeah, the one I think, just click any of them. It's going to be a panel, and it's going to be Natural Intelligence. And you can see all the categories that they operate in. If you go to top10.com, that's one of their organic sites. They don't rank well. They actually suck at SEO. So don't tell them I said that. But you can see all the categories they operate in. So if you Google best any of that, you'll find them. This brings me back to Site Curve. I'm big on using winners and losers data to inform my SEO strategies. That's how I do anything. So SiteCurve is a tool I built. It actually launched on Monday. That basically makes it easy to figure out who's winning and losing in SEO. It works just like any other sort of keyword tracker, but I call it a landscape tracker because it doesn't just track one domain, it tracks all domains for those sets of keywords in that landscape. And it gets competitive intel across all domains that rank on that keyword set. So you can see how many keywords they rank on, how many URLs rank, estimated traffic, all of that. Gives you winners and losers. It's how I found black, white, and zebra. So this is actually a really good example of a gigantic affiliate network that I found through SiteCurve. This is all these sites that they have here, and they're all affiliate sites that do things exactly like 3Ships. Found them through this landscape, which is made up of 40,000 keywords. Found them through here, just ranking really well. People also, the CFO Club, again, same concept. They're just running affiliate, but they've niched down, and they basically do a lot of link swaps to help build up their authority for all of their partners. I'm tracking 13 of their sites right now. You can actually get that. I'll give you a link in a second. But basically, these are all the sites from Black, White, and Zebra, all affiliate sites, all ranking right now. Some ranking better than others, but that's their portfolio. Love studying winning and losing sites. And that got me super curious because I was like, who's winning and losing in Australia? Because we're in a room of SEO agencies. I was very curious. So I created a landscape on SiteCurve. Again, I used 315 keywords to see. And it came up with 585 websites. And we're going to check it out. Quick stats. I did Sydney, Adelaide, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Melbourne, Perth. Keywords like SEO agency near me, SEO agencies, city, and again, 585 competitors. Here's what I found. In Sydney, Studio Hawk was number one. They own about 30% share of voice, so the biggest player. Prosperity right behind them. In Brisbane, Studio Hawk number one again, with Excite Media coming up number two. Perth, Dilate, I think I'm saying it right, Bloom Digital. Gold Coast, Excite Media, Studio Hawk, SEMrush actually in Gold Coast, which is interesting. Again, these are SEO agency plus city in Australia. That's what you're looking at right now. And Melbourne, Studio Hawk again, first page. And Australia National, so if you were looking Australia, if you just typed in best SEO agency, Australia nationally, Prosperity Media owns that, doing really well, Boylan behind them. And who's number one overall in Australia? Prosperity Media. Let's give a round of applause. Good job, Prosperity Media. Crushing it. So if you want access to all these stuff and the slides, you can go there and you can do Prosperity SEO 10 for SiteCurve, get 10% off. And my name is Shane Dutka. Thanks.